trying to build up my algorithm. As you have probably heard, I've complained about how YouTube, if you're not broadcasting 24/7, 365 days a year, they stop pushing traffic towards your um, profile page, whatever you want to call it. So, because I'm tired, I just got back from doing readings at the shop. I thought, you know what, let's do something different. So I'm going to pull a reading. It's just going to be random. It could be for someone who shows up in this broadcast, or it could be for somebody who shows up afterwards. Or maybe it'll just have bits and pieces of some information for all of us. I'm going to start off by just pulling one card for the collective, just like for everybody. We'll start with that. And hello to everybody who's here. I don't know how to say your name, but hi. Sorry about that. But let's pull up one card for the collective to start with. So those of you who weren't here whenever I was saying it, I'm going to just do a random reading. Just something totally different, because I kind of feel that like somebody is supposed to see whatever message that comes up. It'll apply to someone here. And it may be that there's pieces of it that pertain to all of us in some way, shape, or form. I do know that the feeling that I've had lately, and this is more of a collective, this is a collective download. Hi, Thomas. Not exactly glowing. I was working all day at the shop, so I'm tired. Better not be my ego, ha ha ha. Okay, so one of the things that I'm picking up, and no, this isn't some just, oh my gosh, I've got this random transmission. It's an overall feeling I've had watching and paying attention to the collective. A lot of us are in this place where there's a couple of situations. One of the situations is we've been put into strange situations, whether our jobs have been, halted, or they have changed our hours or the way that we're able to work, or whatever it is. This whole thing where people are having to be reliant on other people is causing a lot of trouble within the collective right now, and true colors are starting to show, because you're starting to see a lot of the breadwinners now needing support, and those people that need to help support them don't want it to be that way. It was okay when the shoe was on the other foot, but now that it's on the other axis, people are having issues. That aside, just leaving that completely out of the story, the collective feeling that I've had is we're all kind of on this precipice of this choice that we need to make. And we all know that it's coming, but we're all just trying to I'll just wait until I get a signier sign, as they say. Or I'll wait till it's a little bit this or that, or I can't do it until I get some training in this, or until I feel comfortable with that. So that's the first message I want to talk about. I had a conversation like this today, and I was talking to myself as much as I was talking to the other person. Don't wait until you're ready. You're never going to be ready. You're always going to think that there's something more that you could do first, or you could be more prepared, or that kind of thing. That was why I posted that dumb song, put one foot in front of the other. Because what I'm saying to you, it's kind of like when I first started reading tarot. In the very beginning, I was reading notes the whole time. I was picking up keywords. I was doing things like that. That doesn't mean that I can't give a tarot reading. Doesn't mean that I don't get hits. It means I didn't know how to read the tarot, but I knew the feelings and the hits that I was getting off of it, which is part of reading tarot. I'm just saying, don't not do something just because you don't know how to do it perfectly. Allow yourself to be a beginner, okay? Allow yourself the ability to fail, because if you don't do that, then you're never going to take the steps. You're going to sit in the same spot forever and ever and ever, and there's no need in it. Push yourself a little bit harder. I'm just saying, give yourself that ability to try something new. And when I say that, this could be a new job. It could be a different way of dealing with people. Say, for instance, you deal with somebody on a daily basis and you have no choice but to deal with them. Deal with them in a little different way. You know, turn it a little bit, twist it a little bit, do something different. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again because you're not getting any results or things are not getting any better. Now, I mean, if you're perfectly happy with everything the way it is and you don't worry that you're about to lose your stability or you're about to lose your job or you're about to lose your boyfriend or your girlfriend, ignore it. You do what you do, you know. But I don't think there's hardly anybody in this society right now that is not worried about losing something, whether it's their job, their partner, their house, their car. Maybe it's just luxuries. But the point is, nothing's going to change if you're not willing to change your mindset. That's all I'm going to say. We've got to be willing to take that first step. I can't put that in strong enough terms. I wish I could say this better, but I want to see more people giving themselves permission to take the steps to the different path, the different way, whatever it is that you want to do. Like, for instance, I'm not wonderful at sewing, but if I never start, then I'm never going to learn. And if I never fail, I'm never going to get good. So stop having this mentality that I can't, or I'll wait, or no, do it now. Do it now. This is the time to do it. This is the perfect time to do it. But anyway, with that said, this is an absolutely random ass reading that I'm going to do. I have no idea who it's for, but we'll see what comes up. Yeah, some of you, because I've also, like, some of you are getting fired even. I'm just saying, and maybe it's because the companies aren't making enough money, or maybe they're just being greedy, whatever. Okay, so the focus on this particular reading is going to have to do with a partnership for most of you. For others, it may be just trying to get along with others, trying to like find that balance, that flow, especially in long-term type of relationships that may have undergone some sort of changes here. There's a lot of subconscious energy that's going on as it relates to partnerships or trying to get along with people. And how can we make this last? How can we make it through these hurdles, that kind of thing? That's what's coming up. But what I'm also going to tell you, and this is typical, even when there's, you know, not some type of sickness going on, there's always underbelly to these partnerships. Somebody can love you very much, but they still hide things from you. Like, they do think your butt looks big in those pants, for instance, but they're not telling you that, you know. So there's some aspects there to these relationships that we're in where we're not being fully honest with ourselves or with the other person about how we feel. And how do I say this? In the past, that worked for us. We could do this because things weren't as strained. We were not as reliant on one another. We didn't, I don't know how to say that. Something has changed in our situations where it's making it more difficult to ignore the things that make us feel uncomfortable. For instance, I don't feel like you support me well. I don't think you're emotionally supportive. You know, in the past, you could kind of ignore that, but now that we're spending more time at home, for instance, it's starting to really wear thin, right? Yep. Lots of destruction within partnerships, or trying, like I said, this whole mentality of trying to get along, but things are just not, they're not the same. People are changing here. And because people are changing in different ways, because a lot of people, your belief systems have changed over this course of time. I'm trying to leave out those words that we don't want to get censored. During this time, a lot of us, our belief systems have changed. And I'm not talking about political, though political is part of it. For some people, it's very big. But these belief system changes are causing fractures, is the word I want to use, within these foundations, and we're not sure how to handle them. You're going to see a lot of marriages breaking up. I'm just going to be honest with you. You're going to see a lot of marriages breaking up, partnerships, even friendships breaking up over this kind of stuff. And it's all about how do we leverage and how do we become more self-reliant? How do we adjust ourselves and our belief systems in such a way that we can actually elevate ourselves and more closely align with our tribe, I guess is the words that I'm wanting to use. Because we've spent so many years, we've spent so many years, and thank you and hello, by the way. We've spent so many years like on autopilot is the way that I want to put it. This is the way things are. This is the way it is. Blah, blah, blah. Life, life, life. Life is not the same. So how do we adjust? How do we align to the people that actually are for our highest good rather than where we were placed? Because for a lot of you, like I said, this can be like family. Say, for instance, you know, because I'm trying not to get specific, guys. I'm sorry, because this relates to me in some ways too. But my belief system has changed, and now I no longer align with my family. They don't see things the way that I do. I don't see the things the way they do. And I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with them trying to force me to be them, right? It's kind of that type of situation. So what you have is, you have the family who tries to lock you into that and know you're not going to get out of that. And how do they do it? There's a lot of different ways. They can mess with your finances. They can withhold money that's supposed to come to you. They can spread bad information about you. You know what I'm saying? There's things that they can do that they can keep you in this box. Same as said with the friends, romantic partners, whatever it is. But you're seeing more and more where people are trying to put other people in a box through deception so that they think they have no other choice. And as long as you keep this mentality that, oh, I can't because I've never done that before, or that's not the way that I used to do it, the longer you're staying in their grip. It's okay for them to have a different belief system. It's not okay for them to keep you trapped, but worse, it's not okay for you to allow that to continue to happen just because you don't know how to do something yet. Nobody ever started a job knowing exactly what to do, every single duty, and just went straight to it. It didn't happen that way. It's never going to happen that way. So what I'm trying to say to you, take the steps to align to those people that are on the same journey as you, or at least, even if they're not on the same journey as you, thank you. Even if they're not on the same journey as you, make sure they're people that can inspire you in some way, that can help you, that can elevate you in some way. You don't have to believe the same things. I'm not saying that. But make sure these are not people that are trying to keep you in that box where you're trapped, where you can't breathe, where you can't move. Because here's the thing, keeping you in this box keeps them fed. Keeping you in this box keeps them in power, right? Give the power to yourself. And the way that you do that is through adjustment. So, going on, these relationships are in peril. And we're all trying to find some sort of balance within it. A lot of us are not speaking our minds about it. We're thinking it. Like, for instance, I'm thinking I'm not happy with my partner and I don't want to stay with this partner anymore, right? But I'm not telling the partner that, and I'm not making any moves. What's going to happen? Somebody's going to make the choice for you. It's coming. And when that choice comes, you're not prepared. Why? Because I wasn't ready. I didn't make any moves. I could be comfortable right now, just like this. I'll do something later, something like that. These are the kind of mentalities that we've been dealing with. And this is talking about, don't wait for the tower to hit to start making moves. I'll give you a little thing from my own history. One of the things I learned in my, that's good though, that's good. As long as you're not trying to harm other people with your speech, then that's fine. But the thing is, during this time, one of my lessons, because this one's less personal, I'll share this one. In the past, I put my all into my corporate job. I mean, heart, soul, body, mind, spirit, every minute, every day. Even when I was sleeping, I was dreaming about that job, right? It was all about that job. During this time frame, leaving out that, word, I've learned it's very, very important that you have multiple sources of income, that you don't put your eggs all in one basket, because you don't know which one could crack or break. And then when that happens, you're screwed. I would say don't be trying to get anybody back. The fact that you have to try to get somebody back tells me that they don't value you or you didn't value them. I'm just being honest with you. Anyway, so don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put that much power into one person's hands. So for instance, when I worked this corporate job, because that was the only way I could survive, it was very easy for them to abuse me. It was very easy for them to be bullies, for them to push me to, to the point that like mental exhaustion, mental breakdowns, that kind of stuff, because they knew that they were my bread and butter, so to speak. But if you think about it, if you've got, let's just say, some passive income over here, and then a little side project over here, now when this guy up here wants to be a jerk, you are not completely lost. You got money to get by. So that's an example how in the past I never would have thought of that. I was all about the corporate, all about the corporate, all about that one person and that loyalty and that kind of stuff. Times have changed. Now, in my own situation, there's people that they're like, you got to be loyal to your company. No, I don't. Not when they abuse, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, you've got gatekeepers all around you that are going to try to tell you, don't do that. That's not the way that you're supposed to do things. Trust your intuition. Let me put it this way. When everything falls apart, are they going to save you? And if the answer to that is no, or I don't know, or I'm not sure, especially, don't listen to them. I have a lot of people who like to tell me what to do, but the problem is that when push comes to shove and I'm down on the ground, their response is, I don't know what you're going to do. Okay? So if you deal with those kind of people, then you need to take on that philosophy too. Make sure you have multiple sources of income. Make sure that all of your eggs aren't in one basket. Don't put all your trust and your faith in one person. That's another thing too. Because I'm telling you, for the right price, people will turn on you. So be careful. I'm also going to tell you, some of the stuff you need to work on behind the scenes. What people don't know you're doing, they can't sabotage. There is a huge shift that's going on, like I said, with the belief systems. And one side thinking that they know better than the other. And neither side knows anything, to be honest with you. We're all guessing. Nobody has solid proof of anything. All we know or all we see is our perception of the world. But we see our perception through the traumas that we've been through, not necessarily the reality. Yeah, that's exactly right. Don't let anybody abuse you. I'm just saying. And abuse is not always physical. I'm telling you, mental abuse can be really, really bad too. Verbal, physical, emotional, all of it. It's bad. What else do I want to say? Take really good care of your bodies right now. And I say this because not just because of the sickness, but really start taking care of your bodies right now, because the energies are shifting too. Make sure that you're taking the vitamins that you need, that you're getting the exercise that you need, keeping your blood flowing, keeping your oxygen levels, I'm hearing even, at good levels. That's really important too. I'm not telling you to go out and run a marathon, but make sure that you're keeping that flow, the flow, so you're working through blocks. And see, this is the thing. There's a lot of stuff that's being hidden from us. And yes, I'm talking about the government, but I'm also talking about our friends, our families, that kind of thing. They've been living underneath all of these belief systems for so long, right? That they're afraid to say, for instance, I'm gay, or I'm bi, or I have 2 wives, or I don't think I should have to work in corporate America, or I don't want to take that jab, or, whatever it is. So we've got a lot of people making up a lot of crap, covering up. Yeah, a lot of people covering up things, keeping things secret from us, and we're not getting the full picture about what's going on, which is another thing that I want to tell you about, is another reason why I'm telling you, you guys watch out for your stability. Do not count on somebody else fully. I understand we have to sometimes to a degree, but be very mindful of the fact that in an instant it could change. That person that you count on, they could lose their job. They could suddenly pass away. There's so many things that can happen. And I'm not saying this to scare people, but you got to be prepared. You can't be left unaware again, because we can't be left in shambles is what I'm hearing. And you're going to be left in shambles if you're not willing to make the moves. And unfortunately, in this day and time, like, everything is a secret. Nothing is clear. Nothing is clear. What else do I want to say? It's more important than ever, my feeling here, to start networking. Reaching out to people, places, and things that help you grow and expand, which I've already said that. You're going to see a lot more online stuff going on, which that's been happening, but it's going to get even more intense. Hello, runaway. It's going to get more intense, where we're going to be seeing a lot more of the, like, work at home kind of stuff. I see also, like, technology. I'll see there's going to be, like, new technologies that are going to be coming forward too. But I'm telling you, all around, and this is the sad part, I can tell you this a million times, but I feel like I can't really get through exactly how I mean it. Literally everything that you think is real right now is fake. And I'm not talking about the government, even though it's the government too. I'm talking about within your family. I'm talking about within your jobs. I'm talking about your food. I'm staying out of the political part, okay? But nothing that you see is real. We're being fed a bunch of crap right now. And some people, some of it, it's not meant to harm anybody. It's more of self-preservation. And this is why we're having to find a different way. And, okay, that's another thing I just got told too. We're not, because we don't have proof, that's why we're staying in the situations. So, I have such a hard time articulating today. I'm tired. We don't have proof, for instance, that the spouse is cheating. We have very good thoughts that they are, but we don't have proof, so we'll just stay, right? And then one day he decides, you know what, I'm leaving, see ya. And you counted on him for 17 years, This is more about trusting your intuition and making moves now before it's too late. I'm just saying. I'm getting the word fascist. We're dealing with some very fascist people. I can't say this right. Yeah, thank you. I'm having a hard time talking tonight, so forgive me. I'm trying. Some days I'm really good at getting my point across, and other days it's like I keep repeating myself and I can't quite grasp it. But we're dealing with some very fascist, did I say that right, people? We're dealing with some people that are intentionally putting us in this state where we will not have all the information. And I've told you, even in some of the readings I've done, a big part of some of the bigger sides of this is that, according to the readings, there are things that have been legally sealed from our eyes. So I'm not saying this is it, but just an example. Say, for instance, that ABC dog food got recalled and it has cancer-causing agents, and then they go and they seal it where nobody can see this, and then people are still feeding it to their dogs. Okay? It's kind of that kind of situation, but it's more than that. It's way more than that. It's about people's lives. It's about some really, really important things that we need to know about. So we are actually being guided to work within our intuition and to take action even when we think that we can't. That, I know it doesn't make sense. I know this sounds random, but I'm telling you, that's what's happening right now. That's what the energy is. Yeah. I mean, it is like that, for real. It's like, okay, so I know intuitively that somebody has been, trying to think of the word, my brain, like I told you, I'm having brain jello, but somebody's been this is real life. Your intuition and actually taking movement, even though you think you're not ready, even though you have no proof. That's the whole point. Anyway, now I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I'll just take a look at this and see. Oh, sabotaging me behind my back. I know the person is sabotaging me behind my back. I've felt it for years. I've known it, but I didn't have proof. But once I distanced myself from that person, suddenly all of these weird situations that kept happening that were basically causing issues in my life randomly, just out of nowhere, just stopped. Did they do it? I don't know. Whether they did it or not, that was, to me, that's the universe telling me this is our way to get out of here. You can go on my, I don't know if I can scroll back through comments, y'all, so forgive me if I missed stuff, but yeah. I have a Facebook page that's Triple Moon Inspirations. You can go on there. Also, I have an email address you can use. It's triplemoonmeditations@gmail.com. If you want to do a personal reading with me, just know that it can go up to 2 weeks out before I'm able to actually do the readings. For some, it depends on when you do it. Okay, so my point is, do you keep sticking around, allowing them to continue to sabotage you underneath the surface just because you can't prove it? No. At least hopefully no. It's about taking the steps, and I'm going to repeat it again because it sounds like I'm getting asked the same question that I just said, but I'm telling you, this is how it's working. The energy right now is all about going with your intuition, not what you see. And the second thing is about making the movements even though you think you're not ready. The universe is supporting us to make those moves, to make those transitions, but the longer that we sit and wait and do nothing, the more likely we're going to see what we call the tower moments come in, where it's like the universe is like, I tried to tell you for 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, and you wouldn't move because you couldn't prove it. So now I'm going to prove it to you. And now you have no choice. You understand? This time frame is very much about that energy. A lot of sealed. Yep. A lot. And I know it's hard to believe this. It's hard to believe that your families could do this or that your company could do this. But there is information legally being hidden from you so that you don't get the closure, so that you don't get the answers. And if you spend the rest of your life trying to get them to pay or to confess or to make it right or whatever this is, you're going to waste the rest of your life because you're not going to get the answers. In some cases, they literally are legally sealed. You will never find the truth. Just telling you. And you don't have to believe me. I'm just telling you. I see it over and over and over again. I've seen it in the card readings. I've had the feelings about it. It's happening. Yeah. So you're sitting, these people that are wanting closure, their hearts hurt. And they're like, I'm getting emotional when I think about it because it makes your heart hurt. You have this need to be vindicated or validated or accepted in some way or to be able to prove so that you feel justified in moving forward so you don't feel guilty for leaving your person behind, for instance. Whoever did that, thank you so much. You want a reason, like you want justification. Like, I can't leave my spouse if I can't prove he did such and such, right? Sorry. I get downloads every once in a while, and I have to, stop for a second. But I was going to say, you stay in these situations, and just because you can't get closure or you can't prove to yourself that you're justified in moving on. And in this particular case, in this time, because of what I'm telling you, these sealed legal documents, it's even, for some, it's just going to be a family secret. Don't get me wrong. But for some of you, it's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than that. And you're never going to get the resolution. You're never going to get the confirmation. There's no proof of it because it's being hidden, okay, in a way that you can't get closure from. And I don't understand why it's happening. I'm not going to pretend like I understand all the rules of the universe. But right now, that's the energy. Trust your intuition. Move forward even though you think that you're not ready because you're about to find out. There's a lot of people standing behind some sort of belief system here, whether that be religion, whether that be political, that kind of thing. But a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you, more so than even any of that, is people trying to shield themselves because they lack self-worth. Exactly. You're exactly right. They've done something in their past or even in the current. I'm just going to tell you, they've done something that they're not proud of. And so it's sealed in some way, whatever shape or form that is, in order to try to maintain some sort of self-worth after they've done X, Y, Z, whatever it is. But they're also getting support in doing so. So, stupid example. I'm adopted. So the family says, oh yeah, it's best that you don't tell her. It's best that you don't tell her. Let's seal those documents. Don't let her see that this is not her father or this is not her mother. Meanwhile, I have health issues that have me in the hospital and no history to look at. You see what I mean? So, but the family believes that that's the right thing to do, is to withhold that information. So you're going to see a lot of stuff like that. Or people that had children from affairs and their information being sealed and hidden legally. Obviously, I'm going to bring up this money that's been stolen. There's a lot of people. I've seen a couple of things. I've seen people taking, in the readings, taking people's government checks, hiding it from people. I've seen them actually stealing money from them, and I'm talking about a lot of money, Also lying so that they wouldn't get money. It's all kinds of stuff. People are playing some majorly ugly under the surface games with each other. And it's all to try to cover up for something that they've done in the past. And that's political too, I'm just going to say. Not just your families. For others, there's been mistreatment of people. And because, you know, I'm of this faith, I don't think that you should be this kind of person. Exactly. They don't want their name drug in the mud, but they're letting yours be drug in the mud in some cases. In some cases, they're just hiding a secret. But in other cases, their hiding of the secret is preventing justice for you. And you are being led through the mud. Karma's not what you think it is. Karma doesn't work that way. Karma lets criminals go free sometimes. I mean, everybody has their own opinion about karma, but my opinion of karma is not like you get what you deserve. It doesn't, not in the way that we see it. There's no way for me to know who's going to get justice and who's not going to, but I can tell you that that's another problem that we have is I want justice, and I'm going to tell you, I'm one of those people. I want justice. But if you want to be honest about the situation, they're spending the rest of their lives trying to hide, cover up, pretend. Sorry, my battery is going dead. Yeah, it has been going on for years. They, in my specific situation, it's been going on for a lot of years. More specifically within the last 4 or 5. But like this has been going on for a lifetime, my entire lifetime. It's just been different situations and it's the same thing over and over and over again. But anyway, I feel like what we're supposed to do with this is, you know, they're trapped in what they've done. Yes, they got away, so to speak, and it may or may not last, but they have, this is going to sound crazy, but there's a certain thing that they have to live with, always having to fake, always having to pretend, never feeling free to really speak their truth or any of that because they know the things that they've done. So I feel like we're supposed to take this time, yes. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, big deal. You know, no, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. The mental turmoil, the mental gymnastics that they have to go through to continue on with their lives is exhausting. The lies they have to keep perpetuating, it's exhausting. In fact, a lot of people are forgetting what lies they've told and which ones they haven't, and they're getting caught in their lies, and they're having to lie upon the lie upon the lie. So just know that. But I'm going to tell you, I feel like this time also is about getting inspired. Getting inspired to make it different. To move ahead. Finding new solutions, new ways of doing things. To get better, to feel better. You don't need proof that you feel bad around this person. You don't need proof that you feel bad in this job because. You don't need proof. You don't need the validation. You know how you feel around these people. It's no accident. Again, use your intuition. A lot of exactly. You got it. That's exactly right. There was a lot of and I can tell you this is in my situation as well. The people are, I'll say people because it was more than one person. The people that sabotaged me, for instance, they had this little handshake deal kind of underneath the table kind of thing. And by other people around them pretending they didn't know about this deal, they were able to lie and manipulate the situation where they justifiably got whatever they wanted. But I digress. Definitely all about people's reputation, their money. Money is harder to come by right now. And when I say that, I know there's a lot of jobs. I'm not saying that. Or supposedly there's a lot of jobs. I'm not seeing it. I keep hearing that. If you want a job, you can just go get one. I'm not seeing the jobs around here. Now, there is if you want to work in fast food, you know. If you want to work in close proximity with other people who most of them don't want to wear a mask, because I don't care if you wear a mask or not, but I'm telling you, myself, I want to wear a mask if I'm going to be in close proximity with somebody. But like if you want to go do that job, there's a couple of jobs like that around here. But like IT jobs, like what I used to do, there's none of those. You know, accounting jobs that I've done, there's none of those. All that you're going to find right now, or that I'm finding here, so I'm speaking from my own experience, is service jobs in the public, close proximity where nobody wants to work because they don't want to get sick. I don't even know how I got off on that subject, but I did. Whatever. This is talking about creating distance between people. So I'm going to give you an example. This is not a true story. Okay, this one's fake. My brother and I care about him very much. But I don't particularly like his wife. That is so true. They do. I don't particularly like his wife. So his wife makes me miserable. Every time I see her, my chest caves in. I can't stand to be around her because she's just right? So how do I deal with that? This is the kind of things that you're going to see people dealing with right now. How do I deal with that? I don't want to leave my brother behind. My brother needs me. My brother loves me. He was there for me, XYZ. This is about finding different ways, creating the distance between people, yet still being able to maintain that integrity. So, for instance, checking up on your brother, maybe inviting him out to lunch when you know she's not going to be around, sending him letters. I don't know. I'm just coming up with all of these different things. If you can't speak to someone about how you feel without them overreacting and basically throwing you out, that means that's not your tribe right now. And you should not feel guilty for having to distance yourself, whatever that means for each of you. That doesn't mean you have to neglect them. I mean, you can absolutely neglect them. If you feel like they don't care how you feel or they're just going to throw you to the side, probably could. Or they're going to throw you to the side, that's not your tribe anyway. But I'm just telling you, this is about how do you create the distance but not lose the complete bond with certain people. This is kind of the energy that we're going to be dealing with here too. I feel like a lot of people have taken advantage of that type of situation. A lot of people have taken care of that situation. And I'm going to give you another example. So because I'm the mother, you're automatically expected to, I don't know, take me to lunch every Saturday, and every time I talk shit to you, just accept it. Because I'm the mother. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people using these titles, these placements within organizations, within families, that kind of stuff, that gives them this kind of feeling of privilege, of overly catered to. And we're going to start stepping away from that too. It's more about celebrating yourself. And that doesn't mean that you can't give that respect or have that relationship, but it's more about the self first. How do I feel when I'm around this person? If it's good, then you keep up with that. But if it's not good, and if you can't be honest about it, it's time now to make that distance. However you have to do it. But again, this is more of what I was saying. You may have to do it in different ways than what you're used to doing. Boundaries. Boom. Boundaries are huge right now. Because let's just say, I could give so many examples of this one. So many. There are so many expectations that people have on other people because they're a family member. because they make a paycheck somewhere. Kind of like what you were saying earlier about, well, you work here and you're lucky to have a job. So you're going to take on the duties of 3 people, and I'm not going to pay you anymore. But because I'm the boss, you're going to do it. You're starting to see a shift in this. There's going to be a lot of hidden new beginnings. You're going to see a lot of people who had been cheating on each other behind the surface. You're going to start seeing them come together right around this time. I'm just telling you, it's what I see. Oh, I'm just going to lose all of the cards at one time. I wasn't even trying to really do a full-on reading here, but I think I did more talking than I did reading. But I think one of the reasons why we're having issues with this too is how do we do this stuff gracefully? Yeah. It's Triple Moon Inspirations on Facebook. I don't remember what my Instagram is. It's probably... Oh, I wished I would have seen all of that. That went by too fast. I'm going to have to get another phone so that I can read your guys' comments, because I don't know how to scroll back through comments. I don't think it lets me. But anyway, we're wanting to do things with grace, but I'm going to tell you, the time of grace is over. And when I say that, like, I don't mean like that means be a jerk, but the time of entitlement, no matter the title, that kind of stuff, we're starting to close that out. It's starting to be, we're working, and a lot of people have a problem that situations are changing, that society is changing in this way. But the good side to it is that we're shifting, even though it doesn't feel like it right now, or it doesn't look like it right now. We're shifting more into a direction where it's equal give and take, where there's a balance of power, because too much power had been given on one side and not the other. Kind of like whenever all of this stuff started happening, the big wigs, the CEOs, all of that, they were the ones that kept this economy going. No, it was those people bagging your groceries. Those are the people that kept your country running, okay? So it's kind of like that. We're having some real realizations here. I only have this one. Sorry. That's what I'm saying. I need another phone so that I can, like, do the comments. So I can comment or read the comments as I'm going. Celebrate who you are. Stop being ashamed of who you are. Stop pretending to be somebody that you're not in order to appease or to look socially or politically correct. I'm not saying be a hate monger, because I don't condone that. But be who you are and celebrate who you are. And don't be ashamed of it, because your shame is what they're banking on. You need to meditate. To the person who just asked me, you got the card Spirit of Nature. That means you need to calm your ass down. Okay? No, but seriously, it's all about finding that place where we can accept ourselves as we are without looking back at this old paradigm, trying to adjust to it. Now it's time that it's having to adjust to us, if that makes sense. The paradigm is having to adjust to us. It has to. It doesn't have a choice right now. And that doesn't mean that, you know, like one side's going to go all over power now, like it's going to go from left to right or right to left. It's not about that. This is more about we're trying to find that balance, that medium point. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to say, though, is all of the shame that people have had because they were not as just like everybody else. People profited off of that. They profited off of it, whether it was they were able to emotionally manipulate you because you were different and shameful, can be a good example. It could be something like that. So this is talking about where we're starting to come back to this transition where the power is being more directed towards the self, more towards the energy, more towards the intuition, more towards going towards goals, allowing ourselves to be beginners, allowing ourselves to do things differently, to try new things, to find out what we're really good at, not just what we've learned or what we already know. It's about, okay, and this is the other thing I've told people about too. Every time that you come up with a new way of doing something, it's almost like somebody puts a breathing hole in the box. Like you can breathe that much more because you have that many more options, which usually open up to even more options and more options, you see? Whereas if you're stuck in one belief system, you can't see yourself out. You're stuck in that one place. Yeah. Basically what you've got is, this is revolution. It's literal revolution. It's a balance of power. It's getting rid of the old paradigm. And that doesn't mean there isn't still going to be power. Obviously, there's still going to be power, but it's going to be more balanced. Especially as it relates to families. So, you know, you're not going to see the same paradigm that you did before where the father was always the head of the household or the mother was always the head of the household and everything that they said goes. That's not the way it's going to be anymore for most people. That's just an example. I mean, it can be for some, but I'm telling you that's not going to be like just assumed. Families transitioning, huge. Big family transitions. Like I said, as people come out about their relationships, about their belief systems, that kind of stuff, there's going to be, you know, there's going to be some time that we're going to need to adjust. We're going to have some time for adjustment because you're going to have some people who are just not going to give up. I like to use examples of like LGBTQ, for instance. There's people that even though they know it's wrong to treat people badly because of that, they still won't stop. Their heart, mind, soul, body, spirit, even their guides are trying to tell them this and they hear it, but you're still going to have this resistance period. So this is where you have to be able to stand strong in your faith. This is part of that intuitive part I was telling you about. Don't just automatically assume that because family turns their back on you that they don't support you or they don't love you, for instance, in some cases. These are people dealing with a paradigm that's crumbling that they've dealt with for 60 years, for instance. And they don't know, they do know, but they're resistant to changing, okay? So you are going to see that. You're going to see a lot of revolution, like within the families and that kind of stuff, but you're going to see a lot of resistance too. You're going to see people not liking other people being happy for things that are not traditional. That's what I want to try to say to you. And then I'm going to do the last card. Yeah. So this is where the caution card, where I was telling you. The caution is in purple, though. For me, that's like, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm using? Clairvoyance. To me, that's what that is. I really, really feel that what's going on right now is we're really, I keep saying, you guys, I keep telling you everything is an illusion. The anger of the people around you is an illusion. They know, some of them, they know what's going on and they're pretending. For others, it's like, this is so crazy. You're going to see people throw fits. You're going to see people go, oh, you can't do that because that's your mother, for instance. They don't really think that. That's in some cases. In other cases, they really do think that. But at the same time, they know that mother has been terrible to you. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is everything that you see is an illusion. They're saying what keeps the matrix, what keeps the box over your head. So stop listening to the people who rebel against you. Stop listening to those who tell you, oh, you can't do that. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can. Especially those people that try to impair your speech. Anybody who makes you feel like you don't have the right to speak how you feel, what you want, what you need, what you deserve. Even the fact that you have pride in something that you've done. That's enough. All right, guys. Yep, you're welcome. This is a time, and then the thing is, it's so promising if you'll just see it that way. And that's, I'm hoping I can convey this. Even though this sounds so terrible, like you're going to have all this revolting and people not liking what you're doing because it's different than what they do or how they think you should do or vice versa, there's going to be a lot of havoc. There is going to be a lot of havoc. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you and say, oh, everything's going to be peaches and cream, it's going to be great, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, there's going to be a shit ton of turmoil that's going to go on here. But it's a chance for a revolution. It's a chance to change the freaking world. It's, if at the very least, it's changing your environment, your mindset, where you're not trapped inside that box anymore, where you can feel free. Because, you know, allow them to feel free in their beliefs and you feel free in your beliefs and there's no problem. But the problem is that you're going to have some people that are still going to try to keep you, they're nailed in the box. Not even just in the box, they're going to keep you nailed in the box if they can. This is a really good chance for us to be like reborn as a species, to be honest with you. But I'm just going to say, even on your personal level, if you can just push behind your mental, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like I've called it this before, your trauma lens or your upbringing lens. If you can see past that and you can trust in your intuition and you take the moves even though you know that you can mess up. Big deal. Tell me one thing in your life that you don't mess up at some point. Anyway, using your intuition, moving forward, you can be reborn. You can change your world. You can change your family dynamics. You can change the health of your family unit, your relationships, all of it. You are given this opportunity right now to make these changes. So don't sit in bed going, well, I don't really have proof. Well, maybe I'll do it later. No. I'm telling you, this is the energy where you do it right now. And then I'm going to go one last card just as a goodbye card, I guess. But it's time right now to celebrate yourself. It's, you know, how other people see you doesn't matter. And actually, you should be celebrating if they think that you're different or you're weird or you do things in a way that they don't. Good. That means you evolved. Woo. Imagine that. It's kind of what we came to this earth for, was to evolve. All right, guys. Let's see if there's anything coming out. If not, I'm going to stop. I just wanted to stop by and kind of have a talk, tell you the energies I've been feeling. And like most of that I just told you, obviously, is not from tarot cards, but part of it is too. It's really just a feeling that I've had. I can see it. I can feel it. We're being led in that direction. It's so important. Why it's doing it, I can't say that, but there's something about trusting our intuition. There's something about pushing just past what we think we can do. It's so important right now. Yeah. Be led to the rebirth. I'm just telling you. It's like this is going to lead to a situation that brings you into a more creative, a more open, a more free, a more creative, I've already said that, romantic, all of that. It's going to make your life flow better. And a lot of you are going to look back at this time, if you choose to make these kind of moves that I'm describing, and I'm not telling you what to do, I'm telling you the energy of what direction to move into, okay? The mindset. Because I don't know your situation. But you're going to look back at this time as your lifetime achievement. I'm telling you, mark my words right now. You can put it in your little black book, whatever you want to do. You start making these moves, and I promise you, this time right now that we're looking at, when you start to make these moves, this is going to be the one that's in the history books. This is the one you're going to tell your grandkids. This is the one your grandkids are going to thank you for, actually, if you want to get down to it. So don't let people blow smoke up your butt. Make the changes that you need to make, because freedom is just on the other side. If you're willing to not be so tied into what do they think of me if I do this, or am I doing the right thing? You know if you're doing the right thing or not. Stop questioning yourself. Bye, guys.